Evening, everybody. Trust you're doing well. This is workbook 2314, a passage from the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Old Testament. Always fun to sort of get out of our New Testament box just a little bit and look at something that we don't recognize right off. Okay? Kai uk ekusate tes phones kuriou heis apestelen me pros humas. Okay, and this negates the verb not. So this looks like a verb, right? So part of speech, verb, parsing. Do we see an augment? Yes. So the augment tells me that I'm dealing with either an aorist or an imperfect. I see on the back end here, sate, tense formative. Okay, secondary ending. So I'm dealing with an aorist because it has the sigma tense formative in here. Active, indicative, second person plural. Tes phones is going to be a genitive case verb. Now, why in the world would, if I'm looking for an object here, why would I find a genitive case verb? Well, if we go back to what the lexical form of this verb is, it's akuo, which means I hear, and it can take either a genitive or an accusative case object. So this tes phones, part of speech, it's a noun, parsing, genitive, feminine, singular. How's it functioning? As the object of akuo here. Kuriou, also genitive, so it's a noun, genitive, masculine, singular, from kurios, which means Lord, functioning as, it's actually a possessive genitive that tells me whose voice. Okay? And you heard not the voice of the Lord. Akuo, if you look at some translations, akuo will often be translated obey. That's part of the range of meaning there. That's a good possibility. Relative pronoun. The relative pronoun sort of which, and our phrase that pays when it comes to the relative pronoun is that a relative pronoun agrees with its antecedent in gender and number, but takes its case according to its function in its clause, unless it is attracted to the case of its antecedent. So, we have to know this is a genitive, feminine, singular relative pronoun. So what's the antecedent? I need something that's feminine and singular, and it looks like because it's in the genitive case also, it has been attracted to the case of its antecedent. So we may have a little bit of trouble knowing how it functions in its clause based on its morphology, but it's usually pretty easy to figure out. Apestelen, okay, apostello, to send. We see the augment here. Secondary tense endings. What happened in here? Yes, our good friend, the second aorist. Active, indicative. Third person singular. We know it's the second aorist for a couple of reasons. We know that it's got an augment. We know it's using secondary tense endings, and we can see in the stem here. We know this is an aorist because of the augment, secondary tense endings, and the tense formative here. A couple different ways we can confirm that it's an aorist tense. Me is a pronoun, or me is a pronoun. Who he sent me, the voice who sent me to you. Okay, pros is that to towards with. Humas is another pronoun. It's nice because it's that you class vowel right up at the beginning, which we would say is you. If you look at some translations, and in particular, here's the New English translation. You'll see they went with obey for akuo. They add the Lord because the Hebrew adds the Lord. By doing what? Well, by doing doesn't even occur in the Hebrew. He sent me to tell you. The LXE translation here is a translation of the Septuagint. And ye have not hearkened to the voice of the Lord with which he sent me to you. So you can see pretty clearly that the LXE is translating in a little bit of a wooden sense. The New English translation takes advantage of the Hebrew. Well, I hope this has been helpful. I'll see you in class tomorrow.